Hi, I'm Finn Sperling, and this is More Than Streams, the weekly music marketing podcast that will teach you how to get, you guessed it, more than streams. Today, I want to talk about funnels. I know the word sounds like something from a business course, but stay with me. If you stay with me, you will understand funnels and you will understand a lot of confusing things in your career that would suddenly make sense. So let's begin with a question. Let's say you post a video tomorrow and it blows up. It gets 100,000 views and thousands of likes, and your phone does not stop buzzing for 2 days. Now, let me ask you this. A month from now, how many of those 100,000 people who watched the video do you think will remember your name? If you can't answer this right now, then don't worry, because by the end of the episode about funnels, you will have a much better picture about this. So I feel like a lot of musicians treat their career like a bunch of separate tasks. You post on Instagram because everyone says you should post on Instagram. You pitch to playlists because everyone says that playlists are important, aka myself. And maybe you run some ads, and maybe you play live shows, and each of those tasks, they have their own little box. And then the results come in and they don't really add up. The views on the social media, they don't turn into followers. The playlist streams, they don't turn into fans, and you are working so hard on all of these boxes without seeing your career move anywhere. So the funnel is basically the map that connects all of the boxes. It shows you the journey a person takes from the moment they discover you until the moment they buy a ticket to one of your shows. And when you understand that journey, you stop asking, why didn't this video get me any fans? And you start asking, what was this video's job? And did it do its job? And the second question will really change how you plan your entire career. So let's define the word funnel without all the fancy business terms. A funnel is the path people take from stranger to fan. I like to break it into 4 stages: awareness, engagement, retention, and loyalty. I know they sound like 4 fancy words, so here is the same thing but in plain language. Awareness is when someone hears about you for the first time. Engagement is when they do something small, like following you or saving your song. Retention is when they keep coming back for more. And loyalty is when they care enough about you to spend money on you, which is what most musicians want, to turn their music and their efforts on social media into money, something that can sustain them. The easiest way to feel what a funnel is to think about the last concert you paid for. Where did you first hear about the artist? Maybe it was a Spotify playlist, maybe a friend sent you a video, or maybe it was the radio. That was awareness. Then at some point you followed them or you added a song to your own playlist. That was engagement. Then you found yourself checking their profile, watching their stories, waiting for their next album, which is retention. And then you pulled out your credit card and bought the show ticket, which showed loyalty. You went through a funnel without you even noticing it, and the artist or his team most likely built the path on purpose. So now let's take a look at your funnel, and I want to go through 3 parts: social media, Spotify, and turning all of it into something you can build a career on. So let's start. Social media, which is the top. It's the top of the funnel, and its job is usually awareness, which means its job is to put you in front of strangers, people who don't know you. You do that with Reels, with TikToks, sometimes the Explore page. you create ads on social media, and you collaborate with other musicians, which puts your face on their feed. And all of that exists to make someone who has never heard of you to stop scrolling for 3 seconds. And here is the biggest misunderstanding, okay? A lot of musicians expect social media to do the entire job of the funnel. They post a video and it goes well, and they expect fans to just appear. But a view is like someone walking past you when you play on the street, right? It's like nothing. It's just someone noticing you for a split second, and that's it. And expecting a viewer to become a fan is like expecting someone who walked past your street performance to show up to your album release show. So what you really need from those viewers is engagement. And I like to think about engagement like a pyramid. At the bottom of the pyramid, you have a like, and a like means almost nothing. It's a good start, and that's it. Above that, you have the passive follower, which is someone who followed you but never interacts with you. We all have lots of those passive followers. If you go to my page, you will see that I have 26,000 followers, which I never brag about because out of those 26,000 followers, maybe 10% actually engage with most of my posts. Maybe a bit more than 10%, but yeah, you can see people with 500,000 followers, but only 100 likes on every post. So followers and likes sometimes don't mean as much as people think. Above the passive follower, you have the engaged follower. And that's the person who comments and shares your content. And at the top, you have the most engaged fan. And that's the person that feels like they are your friend and they will comment on your posts and reply to your stories. And we all have a few of those, but the goal is to get as many. Every step up the pyramid needs something from you. So to turn a viewer into a follower, your profile needs to make it obvious who you are and why they should stick around. To turn a passive follower into an engaging one, you need consistency. So they see you again and again and start to feel like they know you. So when you plan a post, you should ask yourself one question. What is the job of the post? If the job is just awareness, then you can define success by getting a lot of views and comments from non-followers, as well as new followers. And it's fine if the post doesn't sell anything or promotes anything. If the job of the post is to deepen your relationship with the people who already follow you, then success looks completely different. But you are focusing on awareness first, and then you can start planning creating loyal fans. Now, what happens after someone sees your videos on social media and they like them? For most music fans, the next step is to go to Spotify or Apple Music, but it's mostly Spotify. They click on the link in your bio, which I hope you have one. They press play on the song, and now you are in the middle of the funnel, which is engagement and retention. I've been working as a playlist curator in the past few years, and it really changed how I look at Spotify. For most independent artists, Spotify is where you get free algorithmic support, and I talked about it a lot in last week's episode. And it's also where your audience from social media keeps streaming your music again and again. When someone saves your song, follows your profile, or add it to their own playlist, they are telling the algorithm and telling you that they want more. A Spotify save is worth so much more than a stream, and I talked about it a lot last week, because a stream can come from a playlist someone just put in the background, but a save means that someone truly liked your song, and Spotify also notices that. I've reviewed over 50,000 songs as a playlist curator on different platforms, so I've seen the middle of the funnel from the other side too. Playlists create awareness and streams, and that's great, but the artists who really get the benefit from playlists, they also have a profile that is ready to catch the listener. And it means having a profile picture and bio that matches what people see on social media. Like, seriously, don't underestimate a good Spotify profile, because if you're not converting enough people from Spotify to your social media or from social media to your Spotify, many times it's just the way your Spotify looks or also how your social media looks. A bad bio, no pinned posts, and not even a link in bio, or just a very poor link in bio. You need to think about the journey. Someone discovers your song on a playlist, they like it, and then they click on your artist name. And if the profile looks abandoned, then the journey might end right there. If your profile feels alive, if you release music consistently and you look professional, they follow you, and now Spotify itself starts working for you. It will put your next release in their release radar, and that is what I mean when I say retention. So your Spotify checklist for the funnel is kind of simple. Make the profile match your social media so people know they found the right person. Ask for save directly in your content, because people do what you ask them to do and they rarely figure out themselves what you want them to do. And release music consistently enough that the people who saved your music will have a reason to come back and stream your next songs. So we talked about awareness, engagement, and retention, and now we get to the bottom of the funnel, and that's the part everyone skips, which is converting your audience, the audience you built with your content and music on Spotify, converting that audience into something you own. Now, here's the problem with everything we talked about so far. Your followers on Instagram belong to Instagram, and your saves on Spotify belong to Spotify. If the algorithm changes tomorrow, and it happened before both on Spotify and Instagram, your reach can fall overnight and there is nothing you can do about it. Conversion means moving people from platforms you rent into places you own and giving your audience ways to support you with money. The most valuable conversion for a musician is the email list. It sounds a bit old, I know, but an email shows up in front of the person every time you send an email without any algorithm deciding who sees the email. When you have a show, when you release a song, when you sell merch, the email list is the group of people who will show up, because after you start sending emails, you will start seeing direct purchases like tickets, merch, or whatever you're selling. And this is where you need to give people a reason to join your email list. Sometimes good content can be enough. Sometimes you really connect with people on Instagram, and then you need to create Instagram stories telling them every week or every few days about your email list. You can create content about your email list. You will put the link to your email list in your bio. Every time you send a new email, you can just post it on your story and basically just let people know you have an email list and you need to send emails consistently. Also, you can offer something when they join the email list, like an unreleased song, an early access to tickets, a demo, or a weekly newsletter, something that you think your fans would want. Then you make it as easy as possible with one link to join, and it will be only one step. Now, the email marketing tool I really like using is called Kit. In the past, it was called ConvertKit. It's one of the cheapest options you can find. It's very easy to use. And if you feel like you don't know how to start using it, then simply ask Claude, my favorite AI tool, to help you just manage your audience on Kit. And it will give you a step-by-step instructions on how to do that. Very simple. So if you remember one thing from this episode, I want you to remember this. Every piece of your music career has one job inside one funnel. Social media makes strangers aware of you. Spotify stores their interest through saves and follows, and conversions turn that interest into an email list, a community, and into money. When something is not working, find which stage on the funnel is broken and fix that stage. If you want help building this whole funnel system, I made something that is completely free for you. It's called the 100K Challenge, and it's my full 2026 marketing guide broken down into 10 short days. Every day you get one chapter and one action by email, and it covers everything we talked about today, from content and playlists to pitching and running your first ads. You can join the channel at morethanstreams.com/challenge, and I will also put the link in the description of this episode. And if this episode helped you understand your own funnel, please leave a comment on Spotify or send me a DM on Instagram and tell me which stage of your funnel is the one that you feel like is the broken one right now. Thank you for listening to this episode. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, and I will see you next week. Ciao, ciao.